Greetings and welcome! I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Jonas.
And this is It's a Charming Life. So in case you're new around here, we are an international couple from California and from Sweden, and we're now living in New York. In this video, we are going to be talking about the Nordic art of cozy, happy living that has become a huge part of our lives.
You might have heard of the Danish word hygge, which is really hard to pronounce and even harder to translate. But did you know that there is also another Scandinavian secret to happiness? And that is the Swedish Mys. And we are going to compare the two and see why it makes the Scandinavian people one of the most happy people in the world, and how it can help you too. We would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already and stick around for the cottage coziness that we are all about here.
But before we move on, Jonas, I need to know, what time is it?
Oh, it's high time to thank this video's sponsor, and that's Nordgreen. And Nordgreen is a Danish watch company based in Copenhagen that stands for Nordic Minimalistic Design. We love the classic style and the interchangeable straps that makes every watch so versatile and timeless.
Since Valentine's Day is just around the corner, we wanted to let you know that Nordgreen is having a special gift bundle set available, and we think they would make really wonderful Valentine's Day presents. The sets are already discounted at 20% off, and on top of that you can get 15% off with our special code, which you can find in the description box below.
And what's so special about giving a loved one a wristwatch is to know that you share the time together. Because that's what we think Valentine's Day is all about. To be with the loved ones.
Yeah.
And share the precious time together.
Aww. We love wearing watches when we're spending time with each other and with our loved ones because it just helps us stay in the moment. We aren't distracted by our phones and needing to see what time it is and maybe accidentally checking a notification. So we love just the classic watch wearing way of being more mindful, and we really love the Nordgreen watches for that.
What we love working with Nordgreen as a brand is their vision of bringing awareness and taking action about the challenges facing the planet and humanity. Each watch purchase supports one of 3 good causes. And I must say, to look at my watch feels good when it reminds me that it either provided 1 month of clean drinking water to a person in Central Africa Republic, or 1 month of education to a child in India, or preserving 50 square miles of rainforest in Latin America.
So once again, thank you to Nordgreen for sponsoring this video. We really hope you'll take advantage of the Valentine's Day gift bundle sets that are already discounted at 20% off, and on top of that, get our 15% off code in the description below.
So now when we know what time it is, I say it's high time to get ourselves a cup of tea and talk about Hygge and Mys.
Yes, let's do it.
This is definitely Hygge, Lindsay.
Absolutely.
This is Hygge.
This is.
Yeah. And actually, it's a perfect opportunity to be doing this Hygge right now because it's actually a snowstorm outside.
It is.
Yeah, and which makes it extra cozy.
So it's a perfect day here at Co-op Cottage to talk about Hygge, the art of Nordic coziness and happy living. But first of all, we have to establish, how do you even say this Danish word? I think it's pronounced, how I've seen it spelled out, is Hygge, and that's how I'm going to say it with my terrible American accent. And then in Sweden, you pronounce it differently.
I would say it Hygge, but we probably need a Danish person here to get it completely correct.
If that's how we're going to pronounce it throughout the video, we're really sorry that it doesn't sound the way it should. So throughout the Nordic and European countries, there are quite a few different cultures that have different words for this concept of coziness. Hygge is originally a Norwegian word, we found out, and it kind of stems back from the Old Norse word for hug, and it kind of makes sense, right? Hygge, hug. So isn't that a charming kind of way to think about what Hygge is really all about, huh? Just feels like
embracement.
that's a good word. Since hygge can be such a hard word to translate, we thought it would be fun to ask our lovely subscribers if they could put it into their own words, and they came up with some really wonderful comments that we're going to read for you.
We're going to start with the Patreon comments that we got on this subject. And Fiona, she wrote that hygge for me is coming home to a log fire after a walk in the wind and rain, putting coffee on a tray and just sitting to watch the rain hammer against the window, taking the time to enjoy it and feeling all cozy and protected indoors.
Aw.
That's sweet.
Very sweet. Mary says, hygge for me means kindness, warmth, physical and emotional, coziness, interest, well-being, feeling both settled in and happy. Savoring encapsulates it pretty well. We agree.
Kelly says, hygge for me can be reading a book with some tea or coffee or painting with my daughter after making homemade treats, or spending time with family by going for a nature walk, then coming inside to warm up with a cup of cocoa. It is also hugs from my kids and watching movies with them. It's all these moments that create connection with the people I care about.
Jen says, hygge is a warm cat or two cuddling on a lap. Cindy says, I practice hygge year-round. In the winter, my favorite time of year, it's my beloved wood-burning fireplace, my cats curled up on the window seat, snow falling, making hot chocolate, and a bit of mulled wine. Feeding the birds with some homemade birdseed ornaments, hung from the trees and where my kitties can watch. My fluffy socks, doing some knitting and reading, a good novel by the fire. Going to bed early so I can rise in the pre-dawn and put on the tea kettle. It's also getting some deep rest and hibernating. Taking my cue from the season means slowing down. I hear the tea kettle now, going to sip and savor my evening. Oh, you guys are so poetic. I love it.
And here comes a few more from Instagram and YouTube. Ruby says, it's like giving yourself the most wonderful, calming and cozy hug. And someone else says, my adult daughter and I were on a long drive recently and were listening to the radio. A Danish man was interviewed on the definition of hygge. My daughter turned to me and said, I never realized we were brought up in a hygge home.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So many people realize after the fact that they've been doing hygge their whole lives.
Mm.
Our friend Anita says, hygge is literally you two. Seriously, you both capture what it is to me. Cozy, inviting, calm, appreciating and living in the moment as well as appreciating what you have. I could go on. Oh, thank you, Anita.
So we are hygge.
We are. Jessica Smith says, to me it's a state of being, coming from complete comfort, warmth, and calm. Like snuggling up with a favorite blanket and wool socks on with something warm to drink like tea or cocoa, reading a book full of whimsical magic, crafting and then baking cookies with a friend that you've known a long time, playing out in the snow with a pet dog that's then coming inside to lay close to the fire, listening to some music, drifting off to sleep. Those are a few of my favorite hygge things. I thought that was really sweet.
The last one is from Anna, who says, hygge for me is actively practicing contentment, being thankful for the little things in my life that I get to experience, and being thankful for and basking in the mundane.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for all the lovely comments you guys sent in to us. And it seems like hygge for you is a lot about feeling loved and secure. And Lindsay, before when we talked about this, you said it so nicely. You said it was a personal feeling of contentment.
I think contentment and happiness is a very personal experience, so hygge will definitely look different for everyone. So you can definitely recommend, if you'd like to learn more about hygge, The Little Book of Hygge, written by a Danish author, and it goes all into the secrets of happy living from the Danish people. And it's a really easy read and has a lot of great information in there and ideas and inspiration all about hygge. So unfortunately there is no Little Book of Mys yet, not that we know of. Maybe you'll write it, Jonas. Because I think it was this book that kind of started the trend of hygge blowing up on the internet a few years ago. But we thought it would be fun to talk about the underrated version of that, which is the Swedish Mys. For you as a Swede, can you try to translate that into English for us, though?
Well, mys means cozy.
But it's a little more than that, too. It took me a while to understand that mys can be used in many different ways. It's not just coziness.
It's a little bit like Lego, that you can connect it to another word, any word you want.
You can say that something is mys, right? Something is like cozy, but you can also call something, oh, that's cozy. How do you say that in Swedish?
Mysigt.
You can combine mys with other Swedish words to create a compound coziness.
Correct.
So can you give us a few examples of those?
Well, a very common thing is the fredagsmys.
Friday coziness.
Fika Mys.
Enjoying a coffee and something sweet coziness.
Mysbyxor.
Cozy pants.
We have kvällsmys.
Just like evening coziness. Yule Mys.
Christmas coziness. Probably like every holiday can be mys something.
Yeah, you can have höst mys, even like for a season, like autumn coziness.
Midsommarmys. Even in the summer, it works fine.
The list goes on and on. For us as a couple, we say mys a lot. And we add it to words and in our sentences a lot too. We actually mix English and Swedish words a lot too.
We used to say that it's our cottage language.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone would understand it, really.
No.
It's like a, secret
language.
Yeah.
So we'd like to have cottage mys a lot.
Yeah.
And we're glad you guys are here enjoying that with us. Can you try to put into words like what mys meant to you growing up as a Swede in the very cold, dark winters there?
The harsh seasons and the dark seasons is very necessary for this to happen. Because I think mys is some sort of survival mechanism. I want to believe that when you live in the more northern parts of the world, facing these long winters and dark seasons, you become an expert without even knowing it. I don't say that you can't experience this Hygge and Mys in the southern parts of the world too. It is an international key to happiness, I think, at least.
The Scandinavians have really learned how to like bottle it, if you can put it that way, and represent it as like a state of being. Maybe it's because of the contrast of the dark, cold, long winters that mys and the coziness lifestyle was born. The Nordic countries are known to be like the happiest people in the world, yet they go through extremely long, dark winters.
And when we talked more about this darkness versus the coziness, you said something that you had read in the book you showed, that in a situation like this, when you're having tea together, the only thing that would make it even more cozy would be if it was a storm outside.
Lucky for us, we have a snowstorm outside today.
And I can feel it.
Yeah. So it's like the contrast to the darkness that makes the coziness, the mys, so special.
I would compare it with a northern light, because you can't really see a northern light in the daytime, but you have to wait till it's dark, pitch dark. Then you see it, the beautiful light coming in. And Lindsay, you have a special journey toward mys.
I do.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I feel like it took me longer than it should have to understand the concept of mys, because when we first got married, we moved to Sweden in December, and that winter turned out to be one of the longest, coldest winters Sweden had seen in like 40 years. And I'm from California, right? So it was challenging. I've talked about this before, how it really took a toll on my mental health, and that's where my seasonal affective disorder kind of started. I remember when we would spend time with your family, how they would translate mys into just, they would say cozy. And I feel like I heard the word cozy so many times over that first winter. I mean, into like May, it was still snowing, that I remember I actually said to you after a long time that I was so sick of hearing the word cozy, and that I was just plain tired of being cozy. I didn't want to be cozy anymore.
You just wanted to go out and
have the sunshine and the warmth.
Yeah. Sunshine, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm from California, and it just took me a really long time to adjust to the Swedish culture and climate. I think for too long I resisted the coziness when I should have been embracing it the whole time. I think if I had done that sooner, I could have saved myself some suffering. But here we are, almost 10 years later. Cozy, happy lifestyle is just a part of who we are, so much so that our whole channel is based on coziness. And we even have our own cozy cottage tea blend. And I just think it is so crazy how the word cozy and that concept has come full circle into our lives, when I used to not even be able to stand hearing the word.
But I can see that you become the word. Like I can see a mys glow on you. Like it's a special cozy glow you have, like, and that's why when you know the coin has fallen down and it's, you know, you become mys. I can definitely agree and see the feeling that you're talking about, because when we lived in California I could experience that, but with the never-ending sunshine and hearing things as, oh, it's such a lovely day today, it like 100 Fahrenheit.
You're just dying for some coziness.
Yeah, but it was the same day yesterday with sun, never-ending sun, and for me, I can totally relate to what you went through.
And I would like to recommend another book, which is called Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times, because I read that this winter, and I swear that it felt like reading almost my own story that I kind of shared with you right now. It kind of goes through the whole darker half of the year and how really leaning into the winter is the best way to help you get through it. So I really love this book. It made me cry at the end. It's beautiful.
So if you compare the Danish Hygge with the Swedish Mys, what have we learned? Is it the same thing?
What would you say as a true Norseman?
I would say that of course there are differences, but in the whole general idea about it, I would say it's the same thing. And by going all over Europe, we would find different words for the same concept. And I think that's a really important thing, that it's not about titles or name, it's the intention of the thing in itself that matters.
I think it all comes down to whatever makes your heart feel warm and whatever makes you feel content. And that's who.
I agree.
That's Mys.
So now when we have established some basic foundations about this concept of Hygge and Mys, do you have any tips?
When you think about Mys, it's mostly associated with indoor activities. Of course, it can be outdoors too, but we'll start with indoors, and that's creating a very cozy atmosphere in your home. A place where you feel calm and safe, and it's like your refuge. I think a big part of that in the Scandinavian countries is using very soft lighting and loads of candles, and even better if you have your own fireplace. That is what we are seriously lacking here in Hygge Cottage. If only we had a fireplace, it would take us next level Mys, but oh well.
I mean, you would see me out shopping woods constantly.
Yeah, I'm all about decorating the cottage all year long in a way that makes us feel comfortable. So feeling comfortable here in this cottage for us means like nice candles, soft music in the background, lots of blankets.
And also using vintage books as a part of the decor can be a very cozy aspect of the decorating part.
Absolutely. We love surrounding ourselves with things that just make us happy, and for us at Hygge Cottage that means a lot of vintage, secondhand, and kind of woodland inspired things. We love even taking pieces from the nature inside just to make it feel even more cozy inside. I like to think about creating an atmosphere is like all the senses. Like just think about all of the different sensations that bring you warmth and happiness. And something I like to do in the winter is like a simmer pot on the stove. You can throw in a lot of different spices and citrus peels, and it just makes the whole home smell like a warm orange spice tea. And it's wonderful. So things like that are like things that we like to do to just keep the cottage feeling cozy all the time. And what is your favorite Mys thing to do?
My favorite daily Mys thing that I do every day is to have fika. I also think that might be a reason that the Swedish Mys have been falling away under the radar a little bit, because we already have that weird word that you cannot really translate.
Fika. So in case anybody who's watching doesn't know what that is, can you quickly explain?
Well, that fika is to take a moment and just sit down with a cup of coffee or tea or something that you like, along with some sweets or any snack. But just don't eat it as if it was a regular meal. This is a recharging, self-care kind of thing.
So here at Charming Life, we are all about fika time. And you all can be our fika friends. But what is fika if not for the baking first?
Exactly. I think that is a part of the whole thing, to feel satisfied about something you accomplished. It is the activity of creating something and enjoying it. One of my favorite fika treats is to make Swedish cinnamon rolls. It's something special that just eating a warm, fresh from the oven cinnamon roll and just feel the warm flavors and spices. That makes me come alive.
Your Swedish cinnamon roll recipe is so good, and it's on our blog in case you would like to find that there. Is Mys something you do more on your own or with someone? What do you think?
I would say that maybe the more common part of Mys is to do it with your loved ones, your friends and family and spouse. I would say that you can definitely do it by yourself too, and self-care time is a part of Mys, I would say, because it's really nice, if you have a day by yourself to just plan out what you would do, what movies you would watch, what you would eat, and just treat yourself.
And I think a lot of the activities of like things that are Mys are the things that I guess you could call old-fashioned, like having a game night with your family or friends. We like to write letters and postcards and send them out to the friends and family that we aren't able to see all the time. And that's a nice cozy way to stay connected.
Yeah, like I would say that clothing is a part of Mys too. Like when it gets colder, you're encouraged to get dressed in like more fluffy, cozy shirts. And
like knit sweaters and mittens and socks. We don't have pets here at the cottage, maybe yet, but I think that is definitely a huge part of what can make your life more cozy, is like animals as well. At least we like to take care of the birds outside the cottage, and that gives us a sense of Mys as well. I have an important question for you, Jonas.
Okay.
Can you have Mys the rest of the year besides the winter time?
The answer is definitely. There's a lot of things you can do in the summer who is considered Mysy. You can have like enjoy a barbecue outside. Picnics, and you can even like walking in nature is pretty cozy.
Or in Sweden, I know going foraging for berries and mushrooms is very Mys.
Yeah, very many people enjoy that sort of things.
So that's why we like to think of Mys and Hygge as a year-round state of being, a mindset of happy living and coziness. what have we learned here, Jonas, by comparing Mys and Hygge and how it makes Scandinavians much more happy people and for ourselves?
I have learned that it's the fuel who makes the fire make the fire warm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of the road to a happy lifestyle. Of course, you have to make the right decision in your life yourself, but it definitely nurtures, and you know, I feel like I have easier to see small things of joy by performing this Mys and Hygge activities daily.
I think it can be easy to get wrapped up in like all the activities of like what makes something Mys and cozy. But what I realized when I was thinking about all this is that the activity is what is helping you stay in the present moment. You're not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. You're in this present beautiful moment. Here at Charming Life, we're all about celebrating charming moments. The ways that you practice Hygge and like the cozy blankets and warm drinks is all what helps you stay centered. Was a big realization for me about, because it's really hard to explain what is Mys, what is Hygge. And that was like a light bulb moment for me. But I think it's definitely like a choice of figuring out the ways that help you feel content, even if your life isn't perfect. Nobody's life is. And we all have the hard things in our lives, but that's what makes the coziness of Mys and Hygge so special and important for our daily lives.
It's something that you can bring everywhere, I would say.
Yeah.
We would like to know, do you have a definition of Hygge and Mys? And maybe you have your own word for it. Let us know in the comment section below.
So thank you so much for watching and spending your time with us. We hope it was cozy for you as it was for us.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click that notifications bell so you won't miss out any of our cozy content.
So we hope you're feeling very loved wherever you are, and we will see you in another video. Bye for now.
Bye for now.